evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, welcome into episode number 83 here tonight, live and direct on RaceON.com, baby. Little Stranglehold bringing us in tonight as usual. And you know it's going to be a good night to get in here and talk a little bit about some motorsports here locally, regionally, and nationally tonight, of course. Man, we had some great racing took place this past weekend, but it is officially, ladies and gentlemen, 30,000 a win week. What do I mean by that? It is USRA Factory Stock Spring Nationals edition number 2 coming at you wide at Boothill Speedway this weekend. $30,000, $1,000 to start for the best USRA Factory Stock drivers in the business. And it is going to be a ton of fun, and we're excited about it. Cortland Smith will join me now on the podcast, my co-host out of Alexandria, Louisiana. And, man, we're going to get into all the nuts and bolts on this massive event taking place at the top of the boot at the oldest operating dirt oval in the state of Louisiana since 1973. What is it, Cortland? If you want to race,
the hill's the place, baby. Let's go. Let's go. 30K. 30,000. Somebody that rates an old stonker can leave with $30,000 on Saturday night, my friend. If that don't get you fired up, I don't know. You don't have a pulse. You don't like dirt track racing. I don't know what to tell you, but we race for $30,000. Do you hear me, Zach Clark? $30,000. Let me tell you right now, come on back, holla at your boy. 30K is going down this weekend, my friend. If you can't tell, I'm fired up. I am ecstatic in every definition of the word.
I'm so fired up because the weather's finally looking like it's finally starting to play nice with us. I mean, it's been rough. These last 3 weekends, dude, your boy ZC, since I went to Mississippi, I've been sitting at the house. I ain't done jack shit in like 3 weeks. Your boy just been jonesing. Like, I probably could have forced the issue and maybe went to Grayson this past weekend with RaceON, maybe called the mods if I hollered at James Brown. I'm sure he wouldn't mind having me. But I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to save myself for Boothill, which I'm fine. I mean, I could handle it. I could probably call 7 races in 7 days if you gave me the opportunity. I'd love to do it. I'd do it anytime, any day, any place. But I'll just save myself for Boothill. Me and my boy Cortland going to have the time of our lives, $30,000 to win. Of course, last year was so phenomenal. We'll get into more of that here in just a minute. We got if I had more time maybe to piece it together and actually put like maybe a graphic together, right? Because you and I have just been kind of brainstorming this stuff. And as you guys listen to it, I know a lot of guys listen on Spotify or iHeart or Apple. They don't actually watch it. I know we've had some new listeners that are starting to watch the podcast on YouTube. Shout out Cody Smith, his wife, for sharing the clip last week on social media. By the way, guys, you have free reins to do that. If you see something on this podcast that you like what we say or you like to hear, what we're talking about, we don't mind. You can cut the clip, screen record it, put it on social media. We probably could do a better job of that and maybe put more clips out there, but we don't mind, guys. You have full reins of it. I'm giving you the ownership right now that you're more than welcome to do so. This is a free podcast, and I don't mind. So if you like what we say, feel free to do so. But anyway, last year was badass. But before we get off into that, we got 83s this week. Of course, it's episode number 83. And dude, I've got quite a few good ones for you. And I got to give a shout out to my man Josh Bell, my former co-announcer at Boothill Speedway, now race director at the Hill. He'll be up there calling the shots this weekend. But we were talking earlier today, and I said, man, these number 83s are kind of tough today, which I had one. I'm not going to steal yours. I think we were kind of on the same mind frame because there's not a whole lot of 83s out here in the business. But there are a lot of number 83s for the Roth Motorsports entry in the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series. Of course, James McFadden also drove an 83 the last couple of years in the High Limit Tour before he moved back to Australia. But here is the history real quick on the number 83 in the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. 16 different drivers for the Roth 80 Sports 83. Jack Haudenschild has 1 win for him. Mark Kinzer and Shane Stewart all have 1 win. Corey Eliason with 2. Sammy Swindell has 3 wins in the Roth 83. David Gravel, Paul McMahon, Aaron Reitzel each have 4. Darren Pittman has 5. Joey Saldana and Tim Schaefer both hold 6. James McFadden has 8 wins in the Roth car. 19 wins for Tim Kading. That is 3rd all-time, sitting 2nd all-time in the Roth 83 for wins with 23 now. Pretty impressive when you think about it. Buddy Kofoid in the number 83, 2nd now with 23. And the dude, Danny Lasowski, with 41 career wins in the Roth 83 car. And that's across all series and different sanctions. But 41 wins for the dude, Danny Lasowski. And, of course, how about the number 83 in the Cup Series too? That Roth Motorsports, like you think about how many badass drivers.
List, I was about to say,
insane. It is really insane. They have had top tier pilots behind the wheel of those 83 cars for years, and you wonder, like, they have a high standard, and you look and you realize why, right? Like, they're not just going to hire anybody to drive that race car. And Buddy Kofoid might end up being the best of all, man. Like, he has a really good shot of catching this record that Lasowski holds with 41. He's already got 23. He could be sniffing 35 by the end of this season. Like, they're sitting pretty good. And before I jump completely away from that, 2 wins in the Cup Series back in 2009 and 10, driving the Red Bull Racing number 83 for my man Brian Vickers. Remember Brian?
Come on.
He's been in the headlines lately, not for good things. I don't want to jump into that, but he's been in the headlines lately. People have been talking about Epstein files, this and that. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I'm just telling you, I have no idea what the hell's going on. But my boy Vickers says, free me out of the files, cuz. But that's all we're going to talk about it here tonight on Clark After Dark. What do you have for 83?
83, the homie Calvin Tucker comes to us out of Cleveland, Texas. Oh, Calvin, my boy. We become really good friends about 2016, 2017. And man, what a great dude Calvin and his wife and his whole family, man. Oh, Calvin Tucker, he's one of them dudes. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If you don't like Calvin, I might just fight you, because he's one of the homies. And I mean, he'll give the shirt off his back to anybody, man. But Calvin Tucker, and I'm telling you, he's got a factory stock ZC. He's got a win already at 105 Speedway this year in March. He's pretty. He keeps around 105 a good bit. He always would come around and travel to the big factory stock shows back in the day, and kind of the last couple of years stayed more around 105. But I'm telling you right now, if that 83 unloads at Boothill, that's a guy that's a sneaky. He's a sneaky old fella now. Like, and my boy 80 in that 83, Calvin Tucker, don't sleep on him. If he rolls into the hill, he'll be a contender.
Yeah, I know that he probably doesn't like me. I know he would laugh about this if he listened to this podcast, because I've always, for some reason, been able to put 2 and 2 together with him in the 83. He drove a station wagon there for a while, right?
Yes,
like KMO racing 83 station wagon. He's one of the original grocery getters, like him and Sean Graham. I'm trying to remember. There was another guy that had a station wagon as well. I know KMO had one down there in hobby stocks too at 105 at one time. But yeah, it's interesting. Calvin's a really good racer. I hope we see him this weekend at Boot Hill. But I was going to say, he won the inaugural non-qualifiers feature, which was $1,000 to win at the inaugural 10,000 to win King of the Hill, which was, interesting. Of course, Marcus Caudill won the big 10K that night, but I'll never forget Calvin Tucker, because that ended up being a really, really good race that night for the non-qualifiers. And my boy Calvin Tucker took her back to Cleveland, Texas. Dude, there's so many different ways we could chew this up and spit this out, and how we're going to talk about this big race coming up this weekend, right, Nick? And before we get there, and before we talk about it, there's a lot of different names of drivers, and a lot of these names that we mentioned, we're mentioning you because of the effort and the things that you have put forth. And why we're mentioning you on this podcast is maybe what you did last year, what you've done throughout the entirety of your career, right? And we're watching you. But I messaged Cortland today. I was like, dude, let's try to put together like a top 16 bracket, right? Or maybe the top contenders from each state. And I thought it'd be fun where if I name a driver and give you a little bit of details, and then I throw it to Cortland and I say, match me, right? Like if I say Cortland Smith, if I start this thing off and I say Dustin Hennigan, he's the reigning winner of the 30,000 win factory stock spring nationals, but he hasn't driven a factory stock since the King of the Hill last year. But dude, remember, he didn't really race the factory stock much before he came in to run that race last year, right? He didn't have a whole lot of seat time. Was it a big surprise for us? No, but yes. Like I think Dustin Hennigan kind of sparked the crowd last year, because it really kind of came out of nowhere. I don't even think if we're being completely honest, if we go back to May or whatever last year, we listened to Clark After Dark, and all respect to Little Henny, but I don't think we really talked about Dustin a whole lot. And it's no disrespect to him. It's just because we didn't get to see him race the factory stock a whole lot prior. Well, we know this year, Cortland, we know going in, like, we would be really, really dumb to count the 16 junior car out. So I throw you, Dustin Hennigan, throw me a driver back. We're going to try to fill this out with 16 spots. And then, no, we're going to leave 16 empty. And we've got like 100 sleepers we're going to throw in there and debate and try to figure out who gets that 16 spot. Who you got?
So you're going to throw me Dustin Hennigan. I got to throw out Josh Martin, man. Dude, that 88M at Boothill Speedway has been lights out fast. And one of them guys, like, we've talked about him a lot this year, but it'd be one of those guys, when you roll into one of these big paying races, it'll be one of his first ones to really break through and get, right? And what better way to break through and do it? All the momentum's riding on his wave. It's I'm a little bit opposite of from what Little Henny was last year, right? Like you said, we weren't thinking a whole lot about him. We didn't race it a whole lot. Well, this year, man, that 88M has has showed up to Boot Hill every single weekend and been lights out fast, dude. And just the way that car's been maneuverable, that force chassis. And, you know, Josh is very much one of them guys. He's always good, but when the 88M camp has confidence, and that's for any driver, right? But you could definitely tell, like, he's got a different attitude about him when he rolls around, just the pits, and then when he pulls on the speedway, he knows that car is fast. And my man ain't scared to make that aggressive move, right? Like, he's not scared to go in there and get that spot on an initial start and pick up 3 spots immediately for passing points, right? Like, he knows his car's fast, and he is not going to let nobody stop him when he's on his tear right now. So you threw me Dustin Hennigan, I'll throw you Josh Martin. Let's go round 2, boys. Slobber knockers.
All right. So I've got to throw you the reigning king of the hill then. I've got to get the reigning king of the hill out of the way. Is he the proverbial favorite coming into this event? I feel like, man, he's really throwing his name into the mix. We talked about him last week, getting the trifecta at RPM Speedway, winning the first RaceON All-Star Challenge race of the year. Again, the reigning king of the hill is coming in guns blazing. He started 6th racing for 30K last year, but give me Kaufman, Texas racer Cody Smith, the reigning king of the hill, in the number 18S car. What say you to make up that outside row 2?
Outside row 2, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna take it. It might be low picking fruit, but there's 2 guys that have finished in the top 3 multiple times at Boothill Speedway this year in factory stock racing. Josh Martin, 36J, Jaws, Justin Aubrey, Whitehead, Outlaw Race Cars himself. 36J, you know the resume. You know he's going to be fast. You know he's going to be in the hunt. He's won a King of the Hill. He's won all the Cajun Classics. What more do you need to say? Cody Smith is lights out fast. I mean, just the resume speaks for itself for that dude, in the same way with the 36J, man. The resume speaks for itself, and when he rolls into the pit area, you know that 36J means business. My boy Froggy Doggy is going to be turning the wrenches like no other this weekend.
Absolutely, man. I feel like, so you're representing Louisiana tonight so far here. You got Louisiana on the board looking pretty good here. All right, so you got Whitehead. Give me, man, this is tough. This is going to get really tough, honestly.
It's going to get good. It's going to get good. I like this.
This isn't a slight to anybody, man. Like, there is a ton of drivers. Like, I promise you that we're mentioning you because you've earned it. And then anybody that we don't mention, it's not because you haven't earned it. Maybe your name is in this talk next time, or maybe when we get in here, we talk about the King of the Hill. But let me throw you, man, this is getting tough. Give me Dalton Faulkner in car number 27. Finished 3rd in the 30,000 win a year ago. Dude has never won the big bucks at Boot Hill, but he is always right there in the mix. He was leading at Boot Hill back on April the 11th, coming around with 2 laps to go, slapped the top of turns 3 and 4, opened up the door for DuBois and the 88M of Martin to get by there late. But, man, you've got to think, this is the least amount of starts that Dalton Faulkner has had in his racing career up to this point of a season. I was looking back through his My Race Pass. Only has 7 starts this year. This is the first time as well that Dalton Faulkner has entered Boot Hill Speedway winless coming into a big event. Winless on the season for the 27 of Faulkner. I was messaging a few people this week, Cortland, and all that really equates to, what do you think? The 27 car might be overdue, right? The 27 might be ready to strike. Give me Dalton Faulkner to line up inside of row number 3 in car number 27 in that DAF chassis.
Outside of row number 3, I'm going with the state of Texas as well for row 3. We're going to keep it in the Lone Star State, but I'm going to go with a guy. He was the top qualifier at the King of the Hill last year, that H237, Jeffrey Abbey. We talked about how dominant of a performance he had at Southern Oklahoma, how good he was at Hot. He almost wins at RPM, but Cody Smith was not going to be denied that night. That Hardman entry, Jeffrey Abbey, I'm telling you right now, he put on an absolute clinic at the King of the Hill last year on passing point night, on qualified night. And, man, I'm telling you, getting locked in early really, really does pay dividends, I feel like, in my opinion. And all of them guys can tell you, whenever you can finish on Friday night and you're locked in, and on Saturday, all you got to worry about is maintenance in your program and being as dialed as you can for that feature race. Give me the Jeffrey Abbey. You know the resume. The dude can absolutely wheel anything that has 4 fenders and race tires. Like, the dude is a stock car guru, right? Like, he can wheel stock cars he can wheel anything, really. Like, I mean, I ain't going to just strictly put him to stock cars, but Jeffrey Abbey is who I'm going to throw back at you there.
Did he run this race last year? I don't know that he did. I don't think he did. He ran the King of the Hill because he had a really good run, a really good qualifying effort there. Of course, Mason Martin will be his teammate again once again this weekend. I'm also really excited. There's going to be 2 brand new B&B race cars debut this weekend of the factory stocks. That's something new for us, Cortland, right? We've seen the Outlaws. We've seen the, even the new IRPs. There's been a couple of guys. Tommy Williams Jr. is going to be in one this weekend. There's been a lot of different hot commodities over the years, right? You got Bo Perry with the laser chassis. There's a lot of really good chassis. And a factory stock's a factory stock at the end of the day. But, man, seeing B&B after all their success in the IMCA stock car ranks, kind of seeing them over here with a shoe like Jeffrey Abbey, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how well they push the progression and how well they merge. Obviously, Abbey's been really, really hot right out of the gate. He's looked like Secretariat to start off the year. Or could you say Rich Strike or your most recent winner, Golden Tempo? Dude, what a badass Kentucky Derby. Don't let my ADD get to you because we'll take this another direction right now. That was a badass Kentucky Derby, cuz that's all I'm going to say. All right, so you gave me Jeffrey Abbey. I give you tonight. Man, this is getting really tough right now. Give me, give me the former King of the Hill champion from 2 years ago in 2024. Give me Mark Underwood Jr. in the Lou Lyles Floorworks number 125 there. Man, he's always good at Boothill, obviously. Nearly won that crate late model race there earlier this season. Man, the 125 is just really, really good. He's got the best of the best equipment. He's got an advanced performance engine underneath the hood of an Outlaw chassis. Mark Underwood Jr. will be a factor this weekend for 30 large.
All right, you going to throw Mark Underwood Jr. out there. I'm going to go to Arkansas.
Yeah.
Neil Kemp, Club 20.
Look right over him.
Club 20, dude. I mean, he was, a guy that has been lights out at Boot Hill in the past before, right? And I'm telling you, it just that pairing back, Outlaw Race Cars, Club 20 together. He finished second on opening night out there, had a really good run on Autism Awareness Night, charged up 15 spots in the feature that night. Man, Club 20, you can tell this pairing is like everything's right in the world, right? Like they made the nice list, everybody's back happy, and you can tell both camps have elevated their level this year between Club 20 and the Outlaw Race Cars and everybody associated with those programs, man. So give me Neil Kemp there. That's going to be one that just that he's always that sneaky fast, right? Like you said, he'll be the first one to tell you he don't like the mud, and he's really one that really likes it when it gets slicked off. Whenever we start doing when the payday strikes in that feature race, right? So he gets up front, he qualifies himself good, man. Club 20 be a contender,
no doubt about it. Next up, this will be lining up, I believe, inside of 5, which, we're not necessarily keeping track of that. We're just trying to fill out these 16 spots here. I got one for you now. How about the driver out of Louisiana? He's got 4 wins and 7 starts to start off 2026. Doesn't have a win at Boot Hill yet. Hasn't raced the Boot Hill a whole lot, but again, keep in mind, race fans, we've been rained out a whole lot here lately. So we only have actually 3 events in the history books this year and a very small sample size, but 4 wins and 7 starts coming between Sabine and Super B Speedway. Give me the deuce car of CJ Howell flying the flag there for Force Racing Chassis with him and Josh Martin. CJ Howell is going to be a factor this weekend as well.
All right. Threw me CJ. Oh, dude, it does get tough. This is the nitty gritty, man. And none of these spots are really easy. Like when we sit here and make this list, you can rank these guys however you want to. Because man, like this factory stock, the amount of talent that we have, like we truly are blessed. Like it is absolutely crazy. But back to the regularly scheduled programming here. I said that to kind of stall and give me some time. How about this? I got one for you. Here we go. 69, Derek Grigsby. Hasn't raced the factory stock a whole lot this year, but boy, if somebody knows how to get around Boothill Speedway, it's the 69 car. It's Derek Grigsby. He's going to be fast. Hey, Cadillac chassis, won it last year. The man's in a Cadillac. He's going to be riding like a caddy, boy. Watch out for that 69. I think he done took the roof off of it too. I might be out there stunting like my daddy. You know what I'm saying? Come on, give it the 69. Yeah, I'm going to give you 69 on that one. Derek Grigsby.
He's a good one. 11-time Louisiana State Dirt Track Championship winner. I mean, what 69 can do at Boot Hill is unlike most other people, right? Like he is, he's able to find ways to get around that racetrack. Like he won the 2017 King of the Hill, and he did it coming out of a C main that night, driving for Joel Ball in the E1 car. So he's won in a factory stock before. He can get it done. There's no doubt about it. That's a great pick right there. A lot of people might be shocked or say, well, Derek, we don't get to see him in the factory. It's like he's Derek Grigsby. I promise you he's going to be fine. And last year, remember, he started, he finished 21st in the feature last year, but he started 14th in the A feature. So he made the feature last year in his debut, in this Cadillac chassis factory stock. Remember, he didn't have a whole lot of races to even get prepped for this race. So I think a little bit more time. I think with a little more time under his belt, maybe. I know we haven't had a lot of races. I think Derek will be a little bit more comfortable this season coming around and maybe have a little bit more confidence in that 69 car. He will be tough. There's no doubt about it. All right, next up, I'm going to give one this year, a driver that you know what? You just know he's going to have raw speed because he always has raw speed. Went flipping upside down to the front straightaway at the Mike Parker Memorial and battled for the win with Dustin Hennigan last year. Them two got together, locked horns. He battled all the way from the back. You know, remember, that was Keaton's debut at Boot Hill. He had never raced at Boot Hill prior to that weekend. Keaton Atkinson will be a factor this weekend, driving that Doug Babb Motorsports number 24K car. Yeah, give me Keaton Atkinson to make this main event. He finished 8th last year. He had a battle all the way from the back to 8th. Wasn't quite able to match what little Henny did from the back to the front. But Keaton Atkinson finished 8th in this race last year, and I believe he'll have a good shot once again this year.
Man, how did we let the guy that led the most laps and we literally got it stolen away from him? I don't care how old he is. I know my boy's kind of on the bounce back season here. Ricky Ingles, the dude's winning everything you can ever imagine. The dude almost, I'm not going to say shocked the world, but like, who would have been surprised if he won it last year? Right? Nobody. Like, come on. Like, it's Ricky Ingles. Ricky Ingles. I'm going to throw you Ricky Ingles. You throw me some young gun out there with Keaton Atkinson, I'm going to throw you the old wily veteran, Ricky Ingles, who led the most laps last year. And if it wasn't for Dustin Hennigan, Ricky, that would have been his highest paying race of his career? It probably had to be, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm about to say, I know he's won a lot of late model races.
Nationals. He won an Armadillo Nationals. I think it paid 10, back then. Of course, super late model races. That was pretty
didn't
standard.
Pay what they are.
5 and 10. Yeah, they don't pay what they are now, but yeah, that's a good one, man. Ricky, he was really good last year. Look, he just kind of let his guard down there late, right? He said that he thought he had a size of a lead. Willow was on the back straightaway. Late, kind of telling him to move. Dustin was coming. He was trying to give him all kind of signals, but Ricky was just on a Saturday afternoon drive, really Sunday morning drive at that time of the night. But that's another thing we're hoping to not battle this year is any of those kind of things. Like we had the power go out last year, it was just absolutely insane. So you got Ricky Ingles there. Give me a driver that may surprise some people we're going to mention right here because you have not ever seen him drive this race car, number one. And we haven't really seen him in a factory stock in a little while. We've been watching his son drive this number B31 B-Mod. But give me the former 2022 King of the Hill and the former Mike Parker Memorial winner. Remember, when Kyle Cummings was in this B1 car there for a little while, he had this factory stock class in a freaking headlock. There for about a season and a half or 2 seasons in or so, that B1 car had him in a freaking headlock. And Kyle Cummings is driving. Oh, hold on. Let me say it. You can head for the mountains of Busch Light.
You had to.
Here. Yeah. Hey, he's driving the Eagle Distributing Busch Light beer number 17. They're going to be throwing back some old Busch lattes this weekend. I don't even think Kyle drinks, but I'm sure his car owner will be. Bobby Jordan, the old police chief, is putting Kyle Cummings in the saddle of the Outlaw Race Cars number 17, Driven to Save Lives entry. It's going to be awesome this weekend. I can't wait to see it. Decide to Ride. Sorry, I just said Driven to Save Lives. Decide to Ride number 17.
All right, you give me Kyle Cummings. Hey, he had a headlock on this class when we first went to the KK 704, the groove tires, right? Like that was those were those transition years when we got funky there for a little bit and run them KK 704. So the man obviously has got something figured out on groove tires in the factory stock. So that's a really good pick there. Excited to see him back at Boot Hill for the 30K. I know he'll be very excited to get behind the wheel. You give me Kyle Cummings. I'm going to go ahead and say it, man. The run he had at Boot Hill on April the 11th probably wasn't exactly how he wanted to finish, but Craig Persley Jr. for rolling up to Boot Hill, he's there at all the big money races. Him and Daff travel together, that innovative race car. He didn't necessarily have the finish, but man, that car had a lot of speed, and he was able to work the top side of the speedway. And let's just be honest, at some point in the night, we know at some point when you hit that racetrack, you got to be able to go up there and rip the lip. We just know at some point when you hit it in this weekend, you're going to have to go up there and rip the lip. So he had a lot of speed when he had to do that on April the 11th there. He didn't necessarily have the finish. He made contact with Dalton Faulkner, but Craig Persley out of New Waverly, Texas, that 56 car, that'll be my next pick to go to line up or go side by side with Kyle Cummings there.
This is our final row to the inside, your 15th starter per se in the main event on Saturday. Again, we're just going for broke here, all right? We're shooting this off the cuff, man. Like we have a list of drivers like we put together. We're shooting this right off the cuff, man. This is just for fun, man. Like strictly for fun. So I hope you guys enjoy this because we're kind of enjoying it, to be honest, because we love racing. So All right, that final row to the inside. Who do we have here, man? This is tough. Give me Jared Moppin. Give me Jared Moppin. Actually, it was between him or Colby Mewborn. I was tough right there. I'll be honest. I was tossing between him and Colby Mewborn. Mewborn has 2 wins this year. He's been really strong in his Outlaw number 36 car. Beautiful race car, too. The Iceman will be a factor this weekend. But, man, Jared Moppin has 6 wins in 4 different classes this season at 4 different racetracks. He's got 2 factory stock wins at Cotton Bowl, so he's had some laps, and that matches the win total with Mewborn. So that's why I give Moppin the edge here, because he does have wins in different disciplines. Now, I know Colby's versatile as well, but, man, that Moppin is such a good race car driver, along with Colby. But I'm going to give Jared Moppin the nod here from College Station, Texas, driving the car number 91.
All right, I'm in the same predicament. I want to say Colby so bad, but I got recency bias here, and
I feel like I know what you're going. You're going to say
you do. Nah, well. Hey, if you don't take Colby on the next pick, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. But for right now, this 16th spot, give me the double nickel, double D, Digging Du Bois. Come on back. Yes, sir. He finished 4th on opening night at Boothill. Almost had it won in our top 5 slobber knocker that we had on Autism Awareness Night. Led laps there late, was rolling the bottom. And, hey, hint, hint, guess what? Another Cadillac chassis rolled in like a caddy, my boy. That 55D means business, all right? He locked in to the King of the Hill in the top 4 last year in the 1D car for his Uncle Stoney. But that Dalton Du Bois, man, he can somehow or another find his way up front, and he's shown speed the last time we were at Boothill. Had led laps there late, and literally Josh Martin and Justin Whitehead. I mean, we had a race for 3 wide for the lead there, and lost 2 spots on the last lap. But give me that double 5 in double D of Digging Du Bois, Dalton Du Bois out of Robeline, my friend.
Dude, I kind of want to start this over and do it again from the top with drivers that we haven't made yet. I don't know, man. It's like, dude, this class is so insanely competitive. It is crazy, so talented. It truly is, man. Unless you're from this area, unless you're from the Arklatex and you're hearing us talk, like, I don't think people outside of our area generally understand how tough this class is and just how competitive it is, and how this is why we love it so much, is because, man, it truly, like, yes, we're racing for 30,000 to win, but the quality of the racing, man, is top tier. And I'm hoping all these guys stay on their P's and Q's. They don't make us look like a jackass this weekend and go out there and call 55 cautions. You know what I mean? But it bees like that. I will say, last year during the finale in our 50 lapper, the last 23 laps went caution free, and we got to watch Dustin Hennigan run Ricky Ingles down from 1.8 seconds back. Dude, it was truly, I mean, really, man, I've called a lot of races in my announcing career, and man, that was one of the funnest races I've ever called. Like, it really was, man. Like, that was a true race. Like, didn't have a caution to upset the field. We literally got to watch Dustin chip away at that lead and come out victorious, making a final lap pass, man. And I think that's why, honestly, why we're so fired up about this race again this year. Yes, 30,000 is awesome. It is. It's insane to think that these guys could race that for that kind of money. But, man, last year went so well. You know, outside of finishing a little later than we would have wanted because the power went out and things like that out of our control. But, like, man, I think it's going to be even better this year, man. I really, really do. Like, Bubba and Rollo have got that racetrack really on point right now. Let's just make this a 24-car starting field. Why don't we? Let's just finish it out.
Let's go. I was about to say, because all the guys on this list that we compiled deserve their name to be called. Like, so it's a list.
Let's give 2 apiece at a time now. All right, to make it a little bit quicker. So, all right. So I mentioned Colby, so I'm gonna slot Colby. Or the reason where do I say that is I already mentioned Colby, so I'm gonna mention Colby here. 2 wins on the year. Give Colby Mewborn a spot here in this feature event, and it's really getting tough now. All right, rolling through here. My goodness, this is tough, folks. Give me Jet Hefty. Give me the youngster Jet Hefty, who has been really, really impressive this year to start off the season. He's got a couple of wins in the stock car ranks, and he finished top 10 at RPM in the All-Star Challenge race, too, just a couple of weekends ago. Give me Jet Hefty, the son of Jackie, driving car number 11 to make up one of the spots in your 24-car starting field.
All right, my friend, we're getting rowdy. Okay, rowdy day. We're getting rowdy, boys. Getting rowdy. Rowdy day. That's going to be one. My second pick now that we're going 2 at a time. Give me, oh, gosh. How about this? Rowdy Day and Jason Ingalls. Them 2. That's going to be my 2 right there. Rowdy Day and Jason Ingalls. Old Racing Jason. Probably going to be behind the wheel of the 55 car, right? That's what I'm guessing. Yeah. I know he raced it, but probably, yeah, that's what I figured. So behind the wheel of the 55, we know them Joe Best cars. They get around there good. Give me Rowdy Day, Jason Ingles.
Hey, and to throw a little hiccup in the middle of this, I got something for you before we fill out the rest of these spots. But I want to mention, if you had to pick a hard charger or a driver that's almost guaranteed to be in the mix at the end of this thing come Saturday night, who do you got? I've got Josh Daugherty to be Mr. Consistency into the mix somewhere. He's probably going to punch his ticket to this main event. Josh Daugherty, give me him to punch a ticket to the feature event. And one more, I'm not really sure if this driver's showing up. He wants to race. They're down a tow truck driver at work right now. He finished 11th in the feature event last year at the 30K. Give me the driver of the Gosselin Motorsports, number 98, 2.5 chassis of my man, Chris Davis in the 98 car. I'd love to see Chris Davis back at Boothill. He's one of the best factory stock drivers in the great state of Texas. He's deserving to race for this kind of money, man. I'd love to see him.
All right. My next two. One that we know when he climbs behind the wheel, it's 110% all gas, no brakes. Boone Evans in the Hood Motorsports ride. Give me Boone. And then my other one, gosh, we start getting, dude, Nate Dixon. I am not going to make this factory stock field without Nate Dixon. By golly, Nate Dixon, the dude shows up and he finds his way into these races all the time. And the dude is just one of those sneaky, consistent, good guys. I talked about him probably last episode or a couple episodes ago. Nate Dixon, he will find his way into the $30,000 feature.
Give me the Triple X Rocket of Trouble, Sean Graham, man. Sean's really trying to get back on his factory stock horse. He won a feature over Richard George Jr. at Arklatex, about a month ago. And I think Sean's hell-bent and bound and determined to get his factory stock program back where I think he knows where it belongs. Like, we know Sean, what he can do in a car. He's a former Cajun Classic winner. You remember, he sat on the front row and led a lot of laps of the King of the Hill one year, right? Like, he led over 30 or so laps before he burnt the right rear tire or something happened. I think he got a flat there late. But, man, Sean's been kind of snake bit, man. He's always been right there when this big money's on the line. Give me Sean Graham, former Cajun Classic winner in there. And one more here. How about, by the way, Rowdy Day's driving that Trevathan Motorsports car, 751. So that thing's quick, and he's going to be good in it. That's a good one for you. But while I'm brainstorming here, while I'm yapping, give me the Jet Brett Frazier. Give me Brett Frazier in the F1 car, the Twin City towing car. We know how good he is. He's out of the orange. He's back in black, and that must be a good omen for the driver of the Jesus Saves F1, the Jet Brett Frazier. Give me him. I got two Louisiana drivers on that one for you.
Well, I got one, and I got one from Texas. Give me triple digit gang stand up 151. Holler at your boy TWJ Tommy Williams Jr. Come on back 151 in an IRP car. The dude made all the RaceON All-Star Challenge races last year, showed up to rev everywhere. Like, the dude chased it, and I know he's going to be one. And like, there is absolutely no quit in the 151 camp. Like, that's all I know. And actually, Tommy, I don't even like you that much. I like your wife a whole lot more, but we'll save that for another day. I'll get to see her this weekend, and we'll talk. But other than that, 151 Tommy Williams Jr. And then give me White Lightning, Dakota Wyatt. He's been high point man at the Battle of Boothill when it was a 5,000 win. One of them guys, he just needs a little bit of luck to go his way. He did finish a top 5 earlier this year at Boothill on one of our regular nights, but give me Dakota Wyatt. He'll find his way into this $30,000 race, and don't sleep on him, man. That 15X camp is really fast as well.
You people that are listening to this realize how tough this class is. Like, we're just rolling through names like it's no tomorrow, and all these guys are so very accomplished that, like, I start feeling bad because I've said it numerous times, I don't want anyone to feel slighted. Like, this isn't even listed numerically. We are truly just pulling names out of a hat right now. But we have all these things that we're saying about them like we mean it. Like, I mean, we feel that they are deserving of what they're being talked about here. So next up for us here, or next up for me, give me Mason Martin. Mason Martin's been really, really swift in that Hardman Motorsports car. Mason Martin, he will be a factor. Had that really good run at the USRA Nationals last year at Boothill Speedway, and then went up there when USMTS was up there just a few weeks ago and finished 4th in the feature event. I know that's a stock car, but man, with Jeffrey Abbey in his corner, right, and Tim Hardman, they got top tier equipment, and with Jeffrey Abbey CRS suspension, he'll have that thing dialed in. If Mason can just have a good heat race, like, Mason's one of them guys where he rolls a lot off his momentum and his confidence. Like, and Mason, he may not like me talking about this, but he's one that could get down on himself real quick if things don't go necessarily. And he's had to fight through adversity a lot in his career and kind of prove to himself that, like, okay, Like, I know I can do this. He did it at Texarkana, at the factory stock frenzy at that race. Like, he's a really, really good racer, and I think he's going to show us what he's made of this weekend. One more outside of Mason Martin here. Give me win again, Chris Hennigan out of Marshall, Texas. I believe Chris. Shit. Like, just give me Chris Hennigan. I mean, it's no big deal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chris Hennigan is driving. This isn't 100. I texted Dustin today. I said, hey, and I probably should just text Chris directly. Let me do that before we get out of here, and I'll get a confirmation. But I heard from Dustin today that he was going to drive the Case J27 car, which is the Ford Power Battle Wagon race car, which we know is a super fast race car. I'm not sure why Vic's not able to be there. Maybe he's working. Maybe Scotty's just not up to it, or he's not feeling. But listen, if there's anybody you pick up the phone and dial. Oh, well, I'm not going to say Chris Hennigan's number live over the air right now, but if you call 90347 bang 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 bang, and you say, hey, Chris Hennigan, I think I'd like Chris Hennigan to drive my race car. That's a pretty damn good one. What do you think?
That's a pretty good one, and the fact that we made it
at Chatham,
we made it down this list, and now we're just mentioning Chris Hennigan. Like, dude, like this just tells you, like we made it this far down the list, and like you said, this is no hard feelings to nobody. This is just two dummies that are just rambling about factory stock racing for 30 grand, right? But I'm gonna go with a guy. I talked about it at a feature the second night at Boothill, how we kind of saw a changing of the tides. He finished third that night, a young gun. He had a really good run last year at Boothill, and got caught a flat at the 30,000, or would have been set up really nice for passing points. The L88 Logan Gordon, they got that nice camouflage car, got the orange on there. Dude, Logan Gordon is one of them dudes he is going to solidify himself as one of these guys that will be around factory stock racing for a while. I truly believe that. Second guy to roll with that, I mean, I really hope we see him. It's very rare when he makes it over here, but if old Rodney White rolls through the pit gate, 100%. I mean, how do you not put some respect on that, right? Like that's one of them guys that we don't see a whole lot, but when he's in your heat race, you're like, woof, I didn't really want to draw that one, right? So Logan Gordon and Rodney White on them too.
Dude's got like over 120 something wins just like since 2020. He wins a lot. Like there's no doubt about it. I hope he is here. He came over here last year, and he'd be the first to tell you they struggled a little bit, and I think they'd like to come back and maybe fight back with a vengeance. So we'll see here. How about the inaugural King of the Hill? Finished 12th in this event last season. I think this is our final two here for each of us. Full Throttle, give me Marcus Cottle out of Mod, Texas, in the number 15A Outlaw race car. Marcus is obviously good at Boothill, finished 12th in the 30K last year, and have no reason to believe, even though he hasn't raced much this year. He did travel to RPM, though, a few weeks ago, and made that feature event over there. I have no reason to believe that Marcus Cottle won't be running well and feeling good about himself, and that 15A car will be right there in the mix. And give me another Texan. How about Ryan Powers, Flying Ryan Powers? He's a Kennedale Speedway Park regular. I know KSP races Saturday, but he's always been one that has never been ashamed to travel over here and race for the big bucks. And love watching Ryan Powers race. He'll have that Powers chassis and fabrication machine ready to rock and roll, I would imagine. So give me Powers there on the outside of that row.
Don't know if he's got a factory stock ride in one of them guys. I'm going to text him right now and I'll get confirmation. But TDJ, Tracy Denby Jr., ran second a good bit of that race, set the world on fire on the KK704s when I was breaking news down there in the old hot pit area. Tracy Denby Jr. had a really good run at the 30,000 last year. If he ain't got a ride, somebody call the man up. The dude can wheel. TDJ, put him behind the wheel of a factory stock. He may tell you he don't want to, but he will. What you got?
He ran second for the entire race. Yeah. Remember last year, he ran second for the majority. Remember, we were tricked all weekend, Cortland, because we thought he was on KKs all weekend. He ended up swapping. He ended up swapping over
for the feature.
He ended up swapping for the feature, but like we were up in arms about it all week, and we were like really impressed at how well he ran. But anyway, back over
to me.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
You got one more, don't you?
Yeah, I got one more. we got a list here, and you can just sit there, and I'm trying to think off the top of my head who else we got here. Let me go with. Oh, I got a homie. He ain't never talked to me before a whole lot, or other than the one time I talked to him in the hot pit. Sonny Chofin, my dude. Well, he worked his way up through a couple C mains and B mains last year, but Sonny Chofin, give me Sonny Chofin on that one.
I can tell you what right now, if Tayton Perkins listened to this podcast, he's going to feel very slighted, because I honestly looked him over a little bit. You know what's funny is I sent this list. I sent it to Josh earlier, And I said, man, I was like, this is really hard. We're trying to fill out this 16. He's like, man, that's even tough. Like, he said, that's really, really tough. But I thought it was pretty funny. I want to mention that. He said, man, he said, I know I get biased and hold my chest out and defend our weekly guys that race in our area every week, but man, we really are some bad MFers in this factory stock world on this side of the state. I thought it was pretty awesome. Like, you can tell he's really confident coming into this race. But anyway, I messaged him too. I said, dude, I can't believe I totally overlooked Tayton. I said, he'll definitely be a factor. He said, I'm not even going to say what he said. But anyway, it was pretty funny. But dude, listen, put some respect on Tayton Perkins' name. At the end of last season, he started rolling was consistently in the top 3 every single night. And I really think Tayton Perkins, he's got one of the best looking race cars that'll be sitting in the pit area this weekend. That young man's got a lot of confidence on his behalf right now. Hey, last year's 18-year-old Dustin Hennigan won the 30K. Who's to say Tayton Perkins can't win this 30K this year? And just because we're mentioning him like 27th or 24th in line doesn't mean trust me, I promise you, there's a lot of really good drivers that we have not yet mentioned here. And give me the driver of the Laser Chassis house car, my man Bo Perry, in the number 12 car.
So you mentioned Tayton Perkins. I actually had him starred with Logan Gordon because when I said about the young guns on March the 21st, Josh Martin won, Tayton Perkins was second, and Logan Gordon was third. So I didn't look you over, but I did look you over in that moment. But I had you starred down there beside Logo. So don't hate me, all right? I'm gonna give one. He had a really good run at 67, but the old spring fell out of him. No 215 triple digit gang. TJ Evans, he's won. Hey, he'll be the first one to tell you. I'm sure that he probably hasn't had the speed he wanted to, and that's another one. TJ, I don't really like you. I like Crystal a whole lot more than you. So I'm not even really friends with you. I just like Crystal a whole lot more. She always calls me Pumpkin. I think she calls everybody Pumpkin, but it makes me feel special. You know what I mean? It makes me feel special.
Pumpkin.
But next one up, let me see. Hey, we ain't mentioned him yet. Keaton Atkinson made his debut at Boothill. He raced the factory stock a little bit, but a guy that kind of not necessarily broke social media, but Drake Finley, one of them Arkansas guys, rolling in. He's in the Smotherman car. Correct me if I'm wrong there. Jason Smotherman. He's in the Jason Smotherman ride. Dude, give me Drake Finley. Like, this is a dude that has led laps in modified races there. Really, really good wheel out of Arkansas. Don't sleep on him. Factory stocks, it may be a little bit heavier, not as much motor, but I promise you Finley will get up on the wheel just as good as any of them.
Yeah, I don't think you folks realize how tough this actually is for us. Like, because like the last thing we want to do is single anybody out and be like, you aren't good enough, or we're totally just having fun. Again, I'll reiterate one more time, we're just having fun with this, man. I hope you guys don't listen to this and it scares you away, or you think that you don't have a shot, or we don't think you're amount to shit. I promise you that's not the case, because at the end of this, I realize I haven't mentioned Johnny Torres, who's showing up this weekend with a brand new B&B chassis. All right, we talked about Jeffrey Abbey and his B&B chassis built by Paul Berger. And he's going to have CRS suspension strapped underneath the frame rails of that thing, and or whatever you call it. Yeah. And he's going to have a good motor. Dude, Johnny Torres finished second to the King of the Hill a few years ago.
Yes.
Johnny Torres is a madman, Your Honor. And I guarantee you, at the end of this thing, he's going to have his hat into the ring at some point of it. Brandon Brown's another driver, right? Brandon Brown finished fourth in the King of the Hill a few years ago and hasn't raced much this year, but he's got a beautiful new white and silver factory stock. Don't be shocked if Brandon Brown's up front leading laps in this race when we come down to Saturday night. Like, it's just anything is possible, man. And we could just keep naming and just keep going and just keep going. And so I gave two, for good measure, just to let you close it out. I'll let you get two more if it makes you feel any better about yourself.
Well, look, I'm gonna give you one because I was going through the past. That I wrote down the top 10 of the 30K last year in the King of the Hill, and the only guy that we have yet to mention, Blaine Murphy. That's the only one that finished top 10 both races out of the King of the Hill and the 30K last year at Boothill Speedway. But Blaine Murphy finished 7th at the King of the Hill. Yeah, that's what I got wrote down. I could be completely wrong, but 7th at the King of the Hill last year. Blaine Murphy got a really clean clean wrap. He's got the flames. He was actually had flames on the car and outside of the car at the 30,000 last year, and it was Inferno there down the front straightaway to make the transfer spot. But that was the last one there, and I'm going through a list, man. You could sit here and you could pick the apple of a million different things, right? I mean, like, who's to say I'm just off the top of my head, like, who's to say an Alan Tippin don't roll in there? I don't know if he's still got his factory stock, but who's to say he doesn't show up? You know, I mean, it's just, it's a who's who
Josh
who you
Ellender.
want pick. Josh Ellender, Donald Kane. Like, I mean, it's you talking about some guys down there in Texas. I mean, it's just absolutely absurd. And like you said, I'm going to reiterate again, guys, if you can put your list together, go ahead. Like, this is just strictly for fun. This ain't no power rankings. Like, I mean, it's like we're going to have 80 plus. I'm just going to say 80. I hope it's 140, but anywhere from 80 to 140 of the baddest factory stocks in the South, they're going to roll in here and they're going to put it all on the line for $30,000.
I'm laughing.
Absolutely insane. What are you laughing?
I'm laughing because we got to the end of this and we didn't mention Chase Hatton. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of this. The whole point of this conversation is just to show you guys how tough this shit is. Like, it's not easy. This is how tough this is. And just think about us talking about it. These guys got to go out here and race each other. Like, that's how competitive this is. So we didn't mention Chase Hatton. We didn't mention Dustin Durham. How about Cameron Cook, Pork Chop Chamberlain? Like, dude, we could just continue to go. Richard George Jr. Shall we keep going? You know what I mean? Like, shall we keep going? Does Justin Johnson show up from Oklahoma? Does J.R. Owen show up from Oklahoma? I know tri-state races this weekend. I mean, come on, man. Olin Holder. I mean, I've got names spilling out of my guts. Chris Sawyer's got a beautiful Corpus Christi, Texas stand up and holler for Nathan Rahi in the 25R car. You know what I mean? Like, he's coming.
Skeet Amundsen won a major B mod race in the F5. Like, Skeet Amundsen's a guy you could throw out there. I mean, Michael Dabney Jr. Michael Dabney Jr. Like, guys, I don't know what to tell you other than simply show up to Boothill Speedway and come watch this 30,000 win factory stock race.
Wayne
like
Patton,
it's fun. Now you got me giggling. You know what I mean? Like, this is absolutely insane.
We're just going to list every damn factory stock driver on planet Earth by the end of this thing. But how about Tristan McCullough in the in-law race car, right? The three car that runs at Rocket a lot. Okay. At some point we got to stop talking about all this stuff, but yeah, I mean, and dude, how about Junior McCall? He just won. He won at RPM or finished third in the All-Star Challenge race. And he won the previous race at RPM. I'm not sure if he'll be here. Who knows? Hey, Wayne Melton. He has been bad fast in his new factory stock. I know he listens to this podcast too. So hello, Wayne. How you doing? Keep it moving. I'm sure the 18M car will be rolling this weekend. But man, that's a WRAP, right? Like, that is probably, we mentioned over 50 names for you guys tonight. We set a Sweet 16 kind of bracket style. Again, if we would have brainstormed this and thought about it a little bit more, Cortland had a banquet and some other things to get to tonight, or we were actually able to get here and record the podcast. So maybe, next year, maybe for the King, we can get a graphic together, maybe throw something together for our producer, Cody Wooten, to put up on the screen for you guys to be able to follow it with us a little bit better. But anyway, we're just here to have fun. I know we've said that 1,000 times, but man, hey, $30,000 is on the line this weekend at Boothill Speedway, and you just got a really damn good sample size of all the drivers that are going to be there hunting the big bucks that can start on Thursday night with practice. We'll be there. I thought about doing a Clark After Dark Thursday from the press box. I almost told us to scratch it from tonight and then just wait and do it on Thursday. But I was like, you know what? We'll wait. We'll just do it, So we'll see.
We can still do it.
So before we completely get out of here, man, that's a wrap on Boot Hill Talk. By the way, the limited modified, the Sportsters will run on Friday for a full show. On Saturday night, Matt Risky messaged me today and asked me if I have a good deal on any KKs, because he says he's trying to learn them KKs. He wants to come over here and race the limited for Loftus on Saturday. But the limiteds and the B mods will also run a full show. Drop my phone, but it'll be okay. I don't really need it, do I? The World of Outlaws were at Mississippi Thunder Speedway this past week, and we'll wrap the podcast up with a little bit of super late model talk. The World of Outlaws, again, we're up at Mississippi Thunder Speedway in Fountain City, Wisconsin this past weekend. And going into that, we knew that racetrack was really badass. And leaving that, we found out that racetrack has lived up to the hype, and it is as good as it once was and good as it ever was. And Bobby Pierce won on Thursday. Nick Hoffman won on Friday. Those are the two prelims. And how about our man who won $50K at Boot Hill last October? Dude, let's just start calling him Big Money Ryan or something else that's a little bit nicer. But the Reaper, Ryan Gustin, comes to shine when the big money is on the line. Ryan Gustin out of Marshalltown, Iowa, won $40,000 on Saturday night at Mississippi Thunder. And man, like the World of Outlaws conversation right now it's Nick Hoffman and Bobby Pierce, right? It's those two. It's going to come down to those two all the way down to the final race. I feel like that's how this thing is shaping up, Cortland. And, man, it's just right now Hoffman has the lead by 3 over Bobby Pierce. There's a couple other things that happen at Mississippi Thunder that deal with Dotson and Pierce. A lot of other things we could probably get into and talk about here tonight. But at the end of the day, it's Hoffman and Pierce show. It's 9 and 32 all night long.
Yeah, I think they swapped the points lead back and forth at Mississippi Thunder. BP took it Thursday, and then come Friday, Hoffman had it again. And then, we're back and forth, and Hoffman just has a 3-point lead heading over him. But man, that Ryan Gustin, dude, that run on Saturday led all the laps, and BP 32 is doing BP 32 things. He is charging through the field, just sliding people, charging up there. And you're sitting there thinking oh, Ryan Gustin is toast. That's what you're if you're sitting there, that's what you're, if you weren't thinking that, then that's what I'm sitting there thinking. I'm like, dude, this 19R's had to lead all these laps. He's been out front. Not that Bobby ain't pushing his stuff hard, but how many times have we seen Bobby Pierce charge through the field just like he did? And then when it gets down, we have a caution with 3 or 4 to go. And bro, this 19R was good. Bobby didn't have nothing for him. I'm sitting, I guaranteed if you'd have surveyed 99 or all the people that were watching it, 99% of them would have said Bobby Pierce is winning that feature when those cautions come out. And Ryan Gustin said, hold my beer, friend. Watch this. And he finished the job. He was lights out fast all weekend long. Finished third Thursday, second Friday, knocked off the podium sweep on the weekend, and he takes it when the big money's on the line. The dude's won the USA Nationals 50K, won Boothill 50K, and now early on in the year, picking off one of the first true, I know it's not necessarily a crown jewel, but one of the first real big money paying races. Now, we talked about the standard of late model racing, it seems like everybody's got 10s, 20s, and 30s, but once you break that 30 mark, them 40s, 50s, that's when you start racking up. And man, Gustin has been able to rack up quite a few of them the last year and a half, man. And that 19R was really, really good, man. And he's one that's kind of working his way back up into the points. He's currently 5th. Something that's pretty cool. We talked about, it's the Hoffman 32 when you talk about World of Outlaws points. Turbo and Tim McCready are tied right now for 3rd. And I think that's really cool because when you look at Tim McCready and Turbo, you're like, those are 2 completely different driving styles, right? But both of them are having their success, and they're both running 3rd in the Outlaws points, and Gustin is right there on the heels, but Hoffman in 32 is a step above the rest. And like you said, Mississippi Thunder necessarily wasn't probably the greatest on Friday. It rubbered up there late. But man, come Saturday, dude, they got that place dialed, and the modified races were good as well. You Chisholm, your boy Chisholm just absolutely dominated the weekend in those, but killed him. It wasn't even yeah, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, he won the mods, man. Good run there for the reigning USMTS full timer. He's not full time with the USMTS this year. His brother Jim is there in the number 24 C car, but. No smoke, Joe Chisholm on USMTS full time this year, but I'm sure he'll be at Tri-State this week. There'll be selective tracks I'm sure they travel to and they make more appearances at than others. So, excuse me. Yeah, and back to Mississippi Thunder real quick before we move to Lucas Oil Series is I got a kick out of Saturday night. Okay, the deal happened on Friday, right, between Dotson and Pierce in the heat race, right? And
yeah,
and when they interviewed Dotson about it, right down there. He said a couple of snot things. Oh, well, he's basically said, I was just racing him how he races all of us, basically, right? Yeah. He said it in a couple choice words. And then comes Saturday. Well, then they interviewed Pierce to get his side of it. Well, Bobby was straight professional. Bobby was so professional. He's yeah, I probably could have lifted early, I threw it in there. And when he threw it in, that may be on me. And he's if I'd have got a better start, maybe I wouldn't have been there racing with him anyway. I'd have been checked out by that. He handled it so professionally, but he had no idea that Dawson was down there talking that shit. You know what I mean? So he had time probably after the race was over to hear the interview, you know what I mean? And hear his 2 cents. So after the race Saturday, after he charges up 17 spot or finishes second, they ask him at the end of it, and it almost felt forced to me. Bobby's
it was a little bit.
He said, I took a page out of he said, last night I took a page out of Dotson's notebook. He said, last night it looked like Dotson took a page out of my notebook. Or last night I took a page out of his, and tonight I took a page out of his notebook. And I was like, oh, okay. It was pretty good, It came back, but I thought it was funny because he wouldn't have said that had he not went back and probably heard what Dotson said. You know what I mean? Yeah. He had to come back and you're not going to get away with completely just shit talking me. You know what I mean? And I that's one thing I do respect Bobby about, because he drives the shit out of his race car. And to be honest with you, he's very professional for the most part, but I like those little digs like that. That's what keeps fans buying tickets and coming back to the races to watch 74X and 32 slide each other to the end of the earth.
Yeah, and Bobby, I think he knows that like he'll go in there and whether you call it parking it, dirty slide, or however you want to look at it, like, yeah, the 32's done it. And they're name a dirt late model driver that has it, right? Like in this day and time, that's just how you drive it. I'm not taking up for him. Like I'll be the first one to tell you there's a lot of slide jobs that the 32 throws that I would not be a happy camper if I was on the receiving end of it, right? So it is what it is, man. And like you said, it adds that little, it adds that little flavor. It adds that little bit of spice to the dirt late model world. And it, like you said, it keeps people interested. It keeps people, it definitely gives all the social media people their clickbait for the day. And I tell you what, that's all that people look for. So hey, Zach, you ain't going on a social media rant in a while, so don't start now. But I'm just saying that gives them all their social media clickbait they want for the week.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Georgetown, Selinsgrove, and Marion Center are up next for the Outlaws. So we'll see what happens there. It's 2 nights at Marion Center. The first 2 are solos at Georgetown and Selinsgrove. So that'll be interesting. First racetrack on the year that both Lucas and the Outlaws will go to is Georgetown Speedway. That's pretty interesting, right? Like, you know, I guess G-Town, like G-Town's a pretty good little race. I say little. It's a pretty good big old racetrack. Like that is a massive. That and Bedford, like probably 2 of the biggest racetracks you'll see all year long. Like just massive racetracks. Yeah. So the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series was as well at Circle City Raceway on Friday, dude. And what an absolute banger. Donnybrook, whatever you want to call it. Circle City. I love these little tight bull rings, elbows up racetracks. And Ricky Thornton Jr. gets off the schneid. Ricky Thornton Jr. parks the 20 RT Color Motorsports car in victory lane. And dude, that was a phenomenal race. Hudson O'Neal ends the weekend with a first and a second. He gets the win on Saturday night at Florence at the home of the National Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame. Another really good race there. Hudson really just kind of made that a snoozer. Everybody else was duking it out and racing like hell back from second on back. Florence is really, really good. They've done a little track prep on the place. I heard Jason Jameson kind of talking about it. He said that the top he said it's not as banked as it used to be. He said, so you have to run the track a little bit differently now than you used to. But Jason Jameson started, I think, on the pole, led a couple laps there. But, man, Hudson O'Neal has a 30-point lead now over Devin Moran for the points. And the driver who we've talked about all year being the most dominant now has 12 total wins on the year. But we've kind of been, like last week, I was like, hey, I'm Devin Moran. I'm still right here, sneaky fast. I'm going to win this championship for the second consecutive year. Well, now the win totals are starting to match with the consistency for Hudson O'Neal, and it's starting to show up in that points column too, because Huddy took over the points lead this weekend after Florence. And, I think a lot like the Outlaws, it's Pierce and Hoffman. It's going to be Moran and Huddy, I think, that comes down to the final race at the Dirt Track World Championship at West Virginia Motor Speedway. What do you think?
Those 2 are definitely it. But, man, what the 20 RT did at Circle City, and I don't know if anybody really paid attention to it, but this was what Ricky was really, really good at. And if you go back and watch the feature, he enters off the cushion, kind of slides up to, he enters in the black, kind of slides up to it halfway, and then just absolutely launches off the top side of the speedway. That's where 20 RT really made his bread and butter, and that was when he seemed to be at his best. And that was probably the first time all year that we seen that style of 20 RT come out, right? Like sometimes when you got to be married to that cushion, it's a little bit harder. But to me, when I go back and watch all those races and a lot of the races that he did win, can he win it on the bottom, through the middle? Yeah, like the 20 RT is good. But like when he's at his best and on his prime, he's kind of entering off that cushion, just kind of sliding up there and hitting that right rear off of it and getting a launch. And that's what he did at Circle City. So keep your eye on him. He's in third. He's 220 back from Huddy. But if who's to say the 20 RT doesn't catch backfire again and get rolling? Because watching him at Circle City kind of gave me flashbacks to what he done in the years past, the way he was driving it. And like I said, dude, he was one of the few guys that could just enter in the black and then just slide all the way up to I say slide all the way up. He just enters a car width and a half, maybe lower than a lot of guys, and he just slide up there, keep speed, and then just absolutely launch off the top of the corner. So that's one that you get. It's obviously Hudson O'Neal, like you said, at Florence was the Hudson O'Neal that we've seen all year so far. Maybe wasn't as good as the last couple weeks, but he absolutely stunk it up at Florence. Moran tried to rally there late, but he was going to finish second no matter what. But somebody that we haven't talked about a whole lot, and I think is worth the nod here. He's fifth in points now, but he has 9 straight top 5 finishes rolling into Florence, where he would finish 6th. Max Blair, dating all the way back to Golden Isles, had 9 straight top 5s. Add an insert from Golden to Circle City, and then at Florence he finished 6th, or it would have been 10 straight top 5 runs with Lucas Oil. Absolutely insane. I'm just going to go run it backwards. It's 6th,
still too nice,
third at
though.
Circle. Still too nice. third at Circle City,
you
fifth at Hagerstown, third at Georgetown, fifth at Atomics, third at B-Town, second Golden Isles, fourth, fifth at Golden Isles there. But the dude has absolutely been so consistent, man. And honestly, when I do the old, whoa, did we just lose ZC? We just lost old Zach Clark. I don't know if anybody else happened to catch his face there whenever that camera was squealing off, but that was pretty funny, his facial reaction. I don't know, but either way, I'm going to sit here and talk about Max Blair for a second. The dude has been I hear something going on in the background, but I don't know what's going on. We got madness breaking down here. The night the lights went out in Greenwood and the night that Zach Clark's camera. Oh, he's back. He's back.
That was insane. I almost flipped my desk over.
Dude, your face, whenever the camera went, whatever was happening, your face was hilarious.
We're losing it now.
Oh Lord!
We were about to sign this baby off, but
we were about to sign this baby off, and I was about to do it myself.
The reason why I have to get a new microphone stand because this thing is over, like it's way too heavy. It's no need to explain it here. I hope to have it next week. Yeah, I think that explains it. So, yeah, dude. So the final thing, there, the Lucas Oil late models, but hey. So the final thing I was going to say while we wrap this podcast up tonight, episode 83, we started it off talking about Buddy Kofoid, right? He's the driver to number 83 for Roth Motorsports. He wins tonight at Lincoln.
Did he win
our
tonight?
First driver to win that has the same number that correlates with the number of our podcast. Congratulations to Buddy Kofoid for winning with the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car tonight at Lincoln. I heard it was a banger too. That's what a few people have messaged me and said it was a really good race to go back and watch it. So I will do that because the last time I saw Logan Rumsey was leading them around to the green flag. Dude, how cool is that, right? We've seen the name Logan Rumsey. Like, we've seen William Byron. So I want to shape this up before we wrap this up completely. We've seen William Byron, right? Everybody talks about his iRacing career and how he was really good at iRacing and it got that shot with Hendrick Motorsports and obviously drives the 24 car, made famous by Jeff Gordon, right? Well, William Byron came from iRacing. Well, to see Logan Rumsey tonight, a guy who I've raced door to door with in street stocks on iRacing, like this, he's an iRacing champion. I'm not on the same level as Logan Rumsey, but to see him lead a World of Outlaws feature to the green flag and come home sixth in the feature, dude, that's pretty damn cool, man. Congratulations to Logan Rumsey for his first career top 10 with the World of Outlaws up at Lincoln. The PA posse represented pretty well tonight. Chase Dietz finished second. Oh, no, sorry, finished third. Carson Macedo was second, and Buddy Kofoid was your winner in car number 83. Do you have anything else before we wrap this completely up there? You almost had to close this podcast out by yourself.
Well, I had this one thing that I was going to get to before I closed it out, but High Limit was at TMS. And Texas Motor Speedway, the fans at TMS, give yourself a round of applause, man. That crowd on Saturday had a couple of the homies, old Clay Atwood, Jacob Smith. I know a couple of different guys from around here. I know a bunch of people went over there and supported it. They sent some pictures and some videos, and man, that crowd on Saturday looked absolutely phenomenal. And it was really, really cool to see the High Limit at TMS. I know they come there a couple times a year, and that's kind of become a staple on their schedule, right? But Kyle Larson does Kyle Larson things, and that Sylvia 57. If it's a Paul Silva car, it's going to win on a weekend. If it races twice, it's going to win one, right? Brad Sweet won last weekend at Knoxville in it. Kyle Larson's going to show up in a Sylvia ride, win as well. He won Friday night, and then, what was that, Thursday? And then they raced on Saturday, whatever the days were. Kyle Larson won opening night over there. And then our boy, Lone Star State Standard, son, Aaron Reitzel. Dude, I was pumped up for my boy in the 87 car. I don't know why. I'm an Aaron Reitzel fan. Like, I'm an Aaron Reitzel fan. Like, I really love watching Aaron Reitzel drive a sprint car, and really cool to see him pick up the win. I know it was probably really cool to pick up the win at TMS and all. And Corey Day finished second on to Reitzel that night. But what a really good weekend for TMS. High Limit did their thing, but at the end of the day, Kyle Larson put on a not necessarily a snooze fest, but he spanked the horse and rode off in the sunset on night one, and then night two, Aaron Wright. So he had to hold off a couple different charges there, but it was the 87 show all day long.
I'm going to say this while we wrap this podcast up. All of you people that told Clarkson Hocevar that he did a phenomenal job as a pit reporter this weekend, why y'all lying to him? He did not do a great job. Like, he did a decent job. Like, for a guy that got thrown into something that he had no idea what he was doing, he did a decent job and carried it. But like, if you're being honest, and I'm not being critical of him, like he did a good enough job, right? Like, people were there and they understood Carson Hocevar isn't a pit reporter, so we're not expecting him to do a phenomenal job. But it's like, all you people giving false hope, like, oh, he did a great job, he should replace Tony LaPorta. It's like, well, let's just settle down real quick. Like, Tony Laporta has that job for a reason because he's really, really good at it. And my point of bringing this up at all, Cortland, is there's a reason why people are in the positions like that they're in. Nothing drives me crazier than I'm watching football on a Sunday. Yes, I enjoy when a Tony Romo is the color commentator, but I don't need any of these people being the play-by-play because they don't know what the hell's going on. I just need Tony to tell me about all the great things you did in your career and all the other ins and outs of it and all this, that, and the third. But I don't need you giving the play-by-play because we know you don't know how to do it because you never went to broadcast school, which is fine. We don't need to go down this road. I'm done. I'm tired of ranting already, but it's okay. But Carson Hocevar, he filled in for Tony Laporta on Saturday. Y'all just go back and watch it. Y'all tell he didn't do bad, but he didn't do great. That's all I'm saying. Like I'm just not going to sit here and kiss somebody's ass because I love him so much that he's winning NASCAR races. He's doing great. It's like everything he does must be phenomenal. It's like, well, man, I just sound like an old curmudgeon now, and I'm being awfully critical. I love Carson Hocevar. I think he's great, but I don't think he's made for pit reporting. And I think he'll listen to if he listens to this, he'll be like, well, dude, screw you, dude. You know what I mean? So that's all I got tonight here on Clark After Dark. Here I am, a ranting and a raving. Thanks to Cody Wooten, our producer of this podcast. Thanks to you, Cortland Smith. I'll see you at the Boothill Speedway on Thursday. Guess what? If you want to race,
the hill's the place, baby. Come on, 30 grand. Let's go. Let's go, boys.
We'll see you at the Boothill Speedway this weekend. Be blessed and be a blessing.
Later.